Hi, obviously my name is Sienna. And I was just wanted to talk about some of my experiences while I was in Morocco, kind of like the most notable things. So the main thing for me when I went to Morocco is I wanted to kind of have like a visual diary of my trip and kind of experiment with my camera settings to really emphasize the feelings that I felt while I was there. And so I'll just introduce some of these pictures. So this picture at the top left was a picture of some tea that we had, some achai, our Moroccan tea or shai bil nana that we had watching Morocco, not Morocco, we were watching Hakimi on which he plays for PSG, play against Spain, and we were watching them in this like cafe, and it was just such a like surreal experience because in the U.S. like people do not watch soccer, and as someone who played soccer my entire life, just such it was really enjoyable, something that I like I felt the energy of everyone like really interested in the game. Like the food was good, like the like just the overall vibe and like how do you say this? Like just, it was just really fun. Really enjoyed it. And then this was a shoe shop that was near one of the NGOs that we visited, Darna. And over the top of this like alley was a red like covering over the whole thing, which added this really nice tint. And it kind of added to like the atmosphere and it's like very, I guess, in an Orientalist way, like very mysterious vibe the red added, but at the same time, it kind of, you know, really emphasized the heat but also like this sense of nostalgia that even though I'm not even from Morocco, it had this like nostalgic feeling that, that was created. This picture in the middle with me taking a picture at this was in Marrakesh and I forgot where we were, but um Walid, our coordinator, had taken this photo, and I'm wearing a jalaba that I got in Tanja for how much did I pay? 150 dirham, which was pretty good. And I actually bought this by speaking Arabic. I was like, I said something about, oh, do you have this in blue? And I don't know. But yeah, it was really cool. And then on the most like outer right photo is some drinks being cooled by so in uh the Atlas Mountain. So we went to Siti Fedma and they had this stream that goes through the mountains or this river, like it goes through the mountains and this waterfall. And in the people that were selling things or living here, they, which majority of the people that lived here were Amazigh, and they were using the waterfall runoff to cool drinks and and clean some oranges, like a natural for refrigerator. And I think that like the green and then the way that I took this photo kind of like just it felt so fresh, which definitely in real life it felt really fresh. Like imagine having your water like fresh up, like fresh cooled by like a river. It was really cool and interesting to see as well. And this experience, this whole experience in Siti Fadma was really amazing. Like I love the hike. Really, I was really able to appreciate the landscape of Marrakech. Yeah, it was Marrakech. A lot better, or not Marrakech. Just the landscape of Siti Fadma, the Atlas Mountains. Um, yeah, and then in this bottom left corner, this was when me and Sutton had ventured off in one of the souks in Marrakesh, and he had, I'm not gonna lie, he kind of got scammed. or he got swindled into buying a ring. I think he was too shy to say no, but I was able to get a video of the guy like melting the ring to make it smaller for his finger, and also proving to us that it was real silver. It's really interesting. And then this picture of me is like in like an antique store that we would always walk by when we were walking to the old Medina in Tanja, but we never like went in. So one day I was like, guys, can we go in here? And there's just so many like antique like brass plates, like candle holders, lamps, just everything. And of course I wanted to buy something in here, but I knew that it was going to be way out of budget. So maybe when I'm like older and I have like a more stable stream of income, I'll be able to like buy something and do more research on it. Because a lot of these things look like they had a lot of history, like they had some masks. And even in one of the souks in Marrakesh, I saw an Nkisi, which is like how to say, it's like a Senegalese or Congo like object that is supposed to represent like promises, and they are highly sought after. So in museums, a lot of the time these objects, the promises are marked by nails that they hammer into the object. But a lot of museums during museum how do you say not ascension, where they would um obtain objects, they would take out the nails thinking that it was arbitrary, but in reality that was the most important part. So a lot of museums have these objects which are essentially useless because they don't have these like promises marked in them. And so I saw it and I was like, oh my God, like this is like really expensive, but I don't think anyone really knew that. I don't know how much the guy was going to sell it for, but I thought that was really cool experience to see. This was a sign that we saw when we were in Osceola, and I'm really interested in like calligraphy, and so that's kind of why I picked this photo. And then this photo is from Shashawan, the coast of Tanja, and I think this was in Osceola also. But yeah, I just really wanted to share like my photos because I think I was like the resident photographer for this trip. And through the photos I really like was able to understand like in a way like the language of Moroccan culture, and not in like a literal way of like okay like they speak Darija, like I'm learning that, but more of like kind of the vibe and like the essence that Moroccans kind of exude, which is like this very artistic but laid back and like very not indulgent, but like, they know what's good and they're gonna serve you stuff that's good, like the hospitality, like people just overall like, and I'm not going to say that like there was everyone just seemed so happy and nice. Like also, like a lot of times we did see beggars. Ustada, she got approached by a lot of beggars when we were all in groups, and we all kind of like had to huddle around her. But it was really interesting to see like specifically in Marrakesh where there's lots of tourists, like including me, but just like the difference in like the wealth disparities, like the way people would just flaunt their money, like their outfits, what they would buy, carrying shopping bags all over the place, like, just so much spending. And then there would be people like a lot of disabled people in like wheelchairs on the side of the road or on like the way to the souks would be sitting there like kind of begging for money, and it was just like it just felt wrong every time I went into the souk to even like I didn't really buy much things when I was there, but it just felt wrong to buy anything while these people were begging for money and seemed to be like starving. So that's one thing I really noticed, or that, came more to my attention. And I think that's what happened throughout the trip. I started to have this guilty feeling of even being there, and I felt like I was contributing to this further like in like increasing the wealth disparities in a way by me going there. But I also tried to not go to a lot of like touristy spots, so like a lot of franchises, and go to more like mom and pop shops and like, hole in the wall type of places, and like, just people like selling stuff off the street. I would buy stuff. And honestly, it was really a good experience. A lot of people would say, "Oh, like you get scammed." But at the end of the day, you just think like these are people's livelihood, and like you're not lo like 10 dirham, like bro, it's not even that deep. And at the end of the day, is I feel like you're enjoying like even just being there, I enjoyed it. Being able to talk to people, hear people speak to me, I really enjoyed it. So, yeah.